Hi, Richard Morey back with you again. So, at this point, we've gone through the planning and you've done all the work required to totally outline your plan and to put the details in. And you've worked on your preparation. You've worked on all of the assets and the liabilities, all those things that are going to make your plan come to fruition, including your people, which we talked about a lot. So now we're going to talk about practice. Yes, practice, the forgotten step. You know, what are you good at that you've only done once? I have asked you that earlier. The answer is nothing. And in business, of course, practice means that people get better at what they do. They just don't show up to work, they show up to perform. Remember, the 4 P's are plan, prepare, practice. The last P is perform, but nobody will perform if they haven't practiced. So don't be shy about that on yourself and on your people. Apply practice. Everything gets better with practice. Has your practice, and whether it's presentation skills, negotiation skills, if it's a machine shop that you're buying, people doing the machining, if it's a driving delivery service, people driving, whatever it is, and they practice and they get better, you will see the gaps in your preparation and your planning. Because it all goes. I mean, it's all flowing, isn't it? They put the plan in motion, the preparation's working, but things, people aren't delivering, things aren't happening, things are off schedule. Why? Because perhaps your people aren't doing what they could be doing, should be doing. That's what's important. So, what does practice look like in the business world? Well, it's the salesperson standing in front of his peers, in front of you, in front of management, going through his presentation. And he does it, and he does it again, and he does it again until he gets it right, or she. Now think about that. She might say, oh God, I can't practice in front of my peers, I'll be embarrassed. Trust me, if you can't do a practice run, if you can't role play in front of the people in your friendly audience called your company, you're not going to do very well in the hostile boardrooms and meeting rooms and president's offices and whatever it is that you're doing the presentations. It's not going to fly. So role playing is critical in all aspects of your business. People have to be good. Think about the sales manager. Now he's got to either terminate somebody, he should practice that. It'll get you away from litigation and lawsuits. Maybe the sales manager is going to open up a new territory. Maybe he's going to break down territories. Maybe he's going to increase the budget, the quota, if you will, by 25 or 30% or 100%. If he doesn't practice his delivery, the salespeople will be disgruntled and they will leave. And they will go elsewhere because they don't want to be treated that way, only because the presentation skills were lacking. The sales manager didn't convey the message correctly. They feel like they've been encroached upon and they are gone. That's a bad thing. Practicing can look like the customer service representative, the inside salespeople on the phone. They're practicing answering phones for irate customers. Again, they're practicing with their peers, with you, with all the people in the company. And they're taking all kinds of shots on the telephone because that's what happens in real life. But they get really good at separating the person from the issue. Again, that's a repetition, but that's what's important. So the inside people are on the phone, headsets, whatever. Maybe it's just online, but they get very practiced, efficient, and proficient at their job. Hence, when there is a problem, the customer doesn't run away or walk away or abandon you. The customer says, they screwed up. They admitted, they've addressed it, they've taken care of my problem, and we're good to go. Your customer remains a customer and becomes a client. And there's a difference. A customer buys once or twice, but a client is with you. Clients remain. And how do you earn that respect? How do you earn somebody, their trust and everything else in order to become a client? It's by being proficient, by being good, which stems from practice. Remember, practice is the forgotten step. Lots of plans go awry and preparation fails because there's no practice. It's the technical salesperson. Now this person is brought in to explain all the technical details and aspects to some new software, new solution, new technology. If that person stumbles and falls, what do you think the customer is going to say? Or the prospect? They're going to say, I don't want this thing. The guy couldn't even explain it correctly. Well, why is that? And the opportunity is lost. Why? Because the technical representative didn't practice his delivery. He may be smart, he may know everything, but he's nervous talking in front of people because he's a techie. Well, you got two choices. Bring the techie in and have the suave salesperson deliver the message and have him there as support, or work with the techie and get him to take his foot out of his mouth and be able to speak coherently with the right amount of pauses, because especially with technical details, you have to pause. You have to give people a chance to catch up, because the techie knows what he knows. But again, the techie and your business relies on practice. These people need to present the solutions in a coherent, flowing fashion with synchronicity, linking all of the various attributes, because if not, who's going to buy it? Practice will determine your results. What are the benefits of practice? It's going to be a cohesiveness in your team. It's going to affect the culture of your company. You tell me who wants to play on a losing team. I don't know anybody. Hockey, football, baseball, it doesn't matter what. Nobody wants to play for a bunch of losers or play with a bunch of losers. So practice delivers benefits far beyond what you can think about. But the culture of your company is reliant on practice. And it's up to you, and whether you are in charge or not, it's up to you to bring this forward and say, you know something, we got to change things here. We've got to get good at what we're doing, because you know what? Look at our results. Why are other companies and other people flourishing and we're not? Or maybe you are doing well, but you want to do better. You want to conquest. You want to take over the market. You want to buy another company. You better check your culture. You better check your discipline. And are you practiced, and are you prepared, and are you going to perform? Because all of this hinges on the ability of people to perform, which is practice. So practicing with your peers will sharpen you. Practicing with your peers and the people inside will make it fun. People will get to know each other. People will joke and they say, oh man, you really sucked on that first time, but boy, now you've greatly improved. Now the person's confidence goes up, out the door they go, and they put on a presentation, and they come back and go, yes, I killed it. I have the customer, my presentation went well. Why would it go well? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice is what bands do. Would you go see a concert that the musicians are not in sync? The guitarist is off here in left field and the drummer is kind of fiddling around? Nah. Listen, the best people, the best companies, the best sports teams, the best bands, practice. Am I saying this a lot? I need to say this a lot. Again, repetition matters. You have to get into a practice mode, absolutely, if you're going to be as successful as you want to be. So, practice, culture, all these things. So let me just bring up golf, for example, or swimming for that matter, or guitar, or anything. Look at the things that people practice, and they don't make a penny from it. Nothing. In fact, golf costs them hundreds of dollars a week. Swimming, they got to join a club. Guitar, you buy an amplifiers and amps, and I'm a guitar player, by the way, and I can tell you it takes a lot of practice. But does it earn them any money? Let's go back to your work, to your plan, to your preparation. Let's go back to your company. Let's go back to what you do for a living. Who practices what they do for a living? It's funny. They practice all these other things, but they just show up to work. And essentially, somebody might say, well, I've got 20 years of experience. Really? Ask questions. Is it 1 year of experience, but applied 20 times? Too often, people learn something, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over for 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 years. That's not 20 years of experience. That's 1 year of experience 20 times. So check yourself, check your company, check what you're doing, and check how good everybody is, because remember, you can't improve what you don't measure. And if you don't measure, how are you going to improve? Make practice part of your strict regimen, part of your culture. Your culture demands greatness. You demand greatness. You'll only get there through practice. Now, the next and final P is performance. So thank you very much, and I'll see you then.